loaded, excited for this week that we have up with us. I am your host of the show, Hayes at AO Shifty. We will be doing this every single week. I'm hoping that we can end up covering this maybe 1 to 2 times during the week. Of course, we'll cover all the waiver wire pickups. So that's going to come out Tuesday. So usually after I finish the show with Steven, I'll end up talking to you all about all my waiver wire ads and pickups. During this show, I'm going to go over all of my teams that I have. So there's 5 that I have. I have a dynasty team. We don't need to cover that. I'm going to go through every single team that I have, the starters, and then I'll end up going through some of the bench players too, just so we can get a handle on everyone that I ended up choosing. Then I will go game by game to say who are some of the top players that we should end up looking into for the week that we have ahead. Going into the first one, I just covered on the show that I had with Steven, but I want to talk to you all about it. And starting lineup is Joe Burrow, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Tyler Warren, Chase Brown, Steelers defense, Brandon Aubrey. Number one, if anyone has any questions or comments or needs help with their different teams, let me know, throw it out there, and we can end up talking about it too. And I could just walk through it. There's a bunch of people that I talk to for these different things. I've been doing this at least 10 to 12 years at this point. Won a good amount of times, probably make the playoffs every single year. But main strategy that I had in this one, looking at my bench, it's straight flyers. I had Amari Cooper, Josh Downs, Justin Fields, Jaden Higgins, Quinshawn Judkins, Colston Loveland, and Rashee Rice. So looking at the starters, I always usually like to go with 3 running backs. After your 3 running backs, you can end up choosing anything else. If the quarterback falls there, cool. And I went with the rookie tight end. Reason why I went with the rookie tight end in this draft is the past 2 years, you had Sam Laporta, then you had Brock Bowers. I'm hoping that we can get the trio there, and we can end up having Tyler Warren do the trifecta with these 3 tight ends that have done solid. Joe Burrow, that offense sucks. I mean, the defense sucks. So me going with Joe Burrow and then also going with Chase Brown, one of the two are going to have to score. It's either going to be Joe Burrow in the air or it's going to be Chase Brown on the ground. So one of the two are definitely going to end up getting it for us. DK Metcalf and DJ Moore. DK Metcalf should be the number 1 wide receiver there. Aaron Rodgers should chuck it to him a lot, so I'm hoping that ends up going well. DJ Moore, I can see it either being DJ Moore or Roman Dunze as Caleb Williams' number 1 wide receiver that he wants to end up going to. So that's my hope. Brandon Aubrey speaks for itself. There's nothing that we need to end up saying on that one. And then looking at the Steelers defense, my 2 main ones that I think are going to do well are going to be either Steelers defense, Broncos defense. There's going to be other ones that are going to do well, but those are the 2 that I'm thinking of. Rashee Rice, he's suspended now, but I wanted to just go to flyer in this one, and I'm hoping that Rashee Rice can end up pulling through once he's back from his suspension. Jaden Higgins, I don't foresee him doing too much, but if anyone gets injured, that's when Jaden Higgins can end up stepping up. Justin Fields, I went with the running quarterback just in the off chance he does do well over there. And then Colston Loveland, have to go with the rookies, so I chose 2 to 3 rookies. Do this every year. That's my main thought process behind that one. Going into my other league that I have, well, sorry, I'll go back to the other one. I have 2 on ESPN, and then I have 3 on Yahoo. So going into the other one, I have DK Metcalf, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Sam Laporta, Alvin Kamara, Vikings defense, Brandon Aubrey. On the bench, I have Jaden Blue, Ray Davis, Matthew Golden, JJ McCarthy, Darnell Mooney, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Tyler Warren. Main things I have here, Tyler Warren was the one I really wanted. Again, 3 running backs, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Alvin Kamara. Kamara is a sleeper year in and year out. I'm not really surprised that people continue to sleep on him, and he continues to do the same thing. Had to go with my stack here. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, solid. George Pickens might end up picking up some of that too, so I could see George Pickens as a main one over there. Sam Laporta should be able to reap some of the benefits being in that offense. With Jared Goff, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, you have David Montgomery, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Someone's going to get it on any given Sunday. I just want a piece of it. Brandon Aubrey speaks for itself. Vikings defense, I'm hoping that it can be somewhat like last year. That's the main reason why I have it over there. Looking at the bench, half this bench is going to be gone. The only ones I care about is Matthew Golden and then Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren, I tried to pick up in every draft that I could. Looking at my two other ones before I dive into each of the matchups, I went heavy in this league, straight Philadelphia, and I'm hoping that I can reap some of the benefits there. I have Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Emeka Egbuka, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, Tyler Warren, James Conner, Kai Fairbairn. Detroit defense, the bench is Rashee Rice again, Matthew Golden, Quinshon Judkins, Michael Penix, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Packers defense. What was my thought process here? Stack. So with the Philadelphia offense, it's either going to be Devontae Smith or AJ Brown in the air or Saquon Barkley on the ground. If they repeat and do anything like they did last year, Philadelphia's offense should be set, and I have so many different pieces of part of that Philadelphia offense. On the bad side is if they are not anything like they were last year, all this is a problem. Egbuka, I think, will be one of the main pieces over there in Tampa Bay. It's either going to end up being Mike Evans or Egbuka to start the year. So that's my big thing that I'm looking forward to there. Chase Brown, brought that up before. James Conner, I think this is his last year. 1 year left after that potentially, but one of these 2 years is going to be the end, and then you're going to end up having some of the backups end up taking over. But James Conner's been on a run over there. Texans kickers, just because I feel the Texans are going to continue to do well. The arena they play in is another reason for that. Talked about Tyler Warren. Detroit Lions defense is just a flyer. Rashee Rice. I've been picking up Rashee Rice in a lot of leagues. I'm just hoping that things go well over there. Matthew Golden. That is my sleeper one that I have. I think Matthew Golden could be a star in that Packers offense. It might be this year, it might be next year, but I had to end up choosing him now. Now, looking at my next team that I have, so it's partially a dynasty, but it's more of, I would consider it a keeper league. Well, sorry, it's a keeper league, not a dynasty. So you get to choose 2 to 3 players, keep them year over year if you want to. Looking at the people I chose, Justin Fields, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry, Kyren Williams, Dalton Kincaid, David Montgomery, Brandon Aubrey, Denver defense, Egbuka off the bench, Stephon Diggs, Kyle Pitts, Ollie Gordon, Amari Cooper, Green Bay. Again, 3 running backs, Derrick Henry, Kyren, David Montgomery. I just want some sort of piece in that Detroit Lions offense. That's the main part over there. The next part is Justin Fields. So with Justin Fields, I am hoping he can be any bit of that running quarterback that we remember from the past. Next part is A.J. Brown. I want to see A.J. Brown being able to take the next step. The first week is tough because he's probably going to be guarded by Diggs. DK Metcalf, again, I'm hoping that he could step up and be that wide receiver 1. Derrick Henry, you better break 20 touchdowns. That's really what I'm hoping out of him. And that's the main reasons for that. I brought up Dallas's kicker already, Kyle Pitts. I just do something. We've been trying to believe in you for so long. Just do something. Egbuka, he might end up going into that starting lineup super quick. Ollie Gordon really depends on how Devon Achane ends up doing. That's what happens over there. Amari Cooper, that's a flyer pick. I don't know what he's going to do for the Raiders. Same thing with Diggs. Flyer, we're hoping that he ends up performing, but if he doesn't, we'll end up seeing how that goes. Now looking at the games and who are different things that I'm thinking of personally that we should look into for this first week. Cowboys, Eagles. So Saquon should have a good game. You could easily see 75 rushing yards and a touchdown. That should get you, we'll look this up. Other pieces in there. I do want to see the secondary for the Eagles because they let go of Darius Slay. That was an important piece that they did have over there, but they're going really heavy on Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell as their different starting cornerbacks. But looking at what are the odds? So for starters, the Eagles are minus 450. especially because they're the home uh, Super Bowl champions. First thing is looking at the rushing props. They have the over-under set for Saquon at 93.5. Wild. First thing to look at is Saquon's. They're not going to show it. I guess it's too early. They have alternate rushing and receiving yards, but even if you look at 70, so you could do 70, that gets you minus 750, and then maybe anytime touchdown. Oh, here we go. So you could do 70. So if you end up doing 70 rushing yards, and they should have an anytime touchdown somewhere around here. That's really what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, anytime touchdown. It'll get you minus 123 odds. If you do Saquon Barkley, 70 plus rushing yards, and then anytime touchdown, you'll get minus 123. If you look at just Jalen Hurts straight, that'll get you 165. I would say it's not a surefire, but that's definitely one that I'd put my money on. Saquon, 70 rushing yards, and then 1 touchdown over there. They just lost Micah Parsons, so that's the main part there. I'm going with the Eagles. I wouldn't go straight up because you're not going to get any money off of that one. Next one is Chiefs Chargers. I don't know on the wide receiver standpoint who for the Kansas City Chiefs you can look at. That's really up in there. Xavier Worthy could have his day. Travis Kelce could sneak out and get a touchdown opening day because he's coming back off his engagement that he just did. Who really knows? Isaiah Pacheco can end up going off. But what I can say is, and we'll see if they even have decent odds for this game. It does have the Chiefs favored. Clearly, they were just in the Super Bowl, so I can foresee that. Just looking at the passing odds when it comes to Patty Mahomes, his over-under is at 240 with player passing touchdowns. I would go at 2 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think that's a bad bet. Over 1.5 is 138. So if you really end up going with 2 passing touchdowns, and then you even did, let's see if I can take off that Saquon one. Yeah. If you went with 2 passing touchdowns and 175 passing yards, you're going to get up minus 132, which are not bad odds at all for you to end up doing that for that game. So I could see that. Cardinals Saints, I'd put the anytime touchdown on Alvin Kamara or James Conner. And that one, Trey McBride, you could see 50 to 60 passing yards. I'm not confident yet on when it comes to Kyler Murray. I have to see that more. Marvin Harrison Jr., notice I have not set him at all. I had him last year in the league, burned me. So I got to wait and see on him. Dolphins, Colts. Tua, this is your year, man. I don't know what you're going to end up doing out there, but we're going to need to see something from you because Tyreek Hill and also Jalen Waddle are definitely depending on you. Over there on the Colts side of things, Tyler Warren. Hammer Tyler Warren. I would also say you could do Josh Downs for 60 to 70 plus receiving yards and then combine that with something. Jonathan Taylor for a touchdown should be almost guaranteed. In this one, if I look at the odds, it should match up with what I'm saying. The favorites right now, it's essentially tied. I don't really believe in that. Jonathan Taylor minus 165 odds. So that's something else. So I would do that. I wouldn't stack that up. Me personally, it's not the best odds, but I would put it straight at Jonathan Taylor. Looking at the Raiders Patriots, I don't really want to bet too much on this one. I know a lot of people are going to say Ashton Jeanty. We really got to see what he's going to end up doing. If you could end up, I do want to see this. If they really are only going to use him out the backfield, or if they're going to allow him to get receptions, because if he even they do. You could probably go with 2 to 3 receptions for Ashton Jeanty. And I say that because he's in the big leagues now. You're going to have to use him out the backfield as a catching option. If you just only use him as that workhorse running, it's going to be tough. But you see 2+ receptions is minus 340, 3+ receptions is 114. Dip it off to him 3 times out the backfield, and you shouldn't be too bad. I just would not draft him in fantasy football leagues because I don't know. You draft him in the 1st or 2nd round, it's not necessarily worth the value. Let me end up seeing that. That's the same reason why Sam Laporta went up so much. Brock Bowers went up so much. After that first year you saw him, it skyrocketed. Ashton Jeanty, his value is as high as it's going to be. What is he going to be? More of a first rounder? People are drafting him in the 1st round already, and they have not even seen him yet. So I'm not big on drafting those rookies super high. We saw the same thing with Marvin Harrison Jr. Uh, but we'll see how that ends up going. For the Steelers Jets game, more if you're in Dynasty, I'd go with Caleb Johnson. Pick him up, stash him. You'll end up getting a return on that one. DK Metcalf is probably my only bet that I have here. I need to see what happens with Breece Hall. Giants Commanders, you can easily go with a passing and a rushing touchdown from Jaden Daniels. Looking at those odds and just seeing the game overall, Commanders are the favorites, if anyone did not know that. The other part is, let's look at the passing props. So player passing touchdowns, it's over under at 1.5. But if you end up doing one, that's 700, minus 700. If you pair that up, actually, and I don't know if it's going to end up letting you do it there. Touchdown scoring props. Yeah, you could do both. Do a passing and a rushing touchdown with Jaden Daniels, and then that gives you plus 205 odds. I would take it. They're going to run them some, even near the goal line. I don't know who truly is going to be their number one. They have Austin Ekeler ranked in the lineup as the number one, but who knows? Also, you can end up probably pairing that. Do minus 270 odds for just straight up, and then you get minus 200 odds if you do the Commanders win and then one passing touchdown for them. It's not bad. Panthers, Jags, fuck the Jags. That's just my mantra here. But in terms of this game, look at Brian Thomas Jr. That would probably be my bet for anytime touchdown or even over 70 plus receiving yards. I don't want to touch anything on the Panthers side yet. I just have to see more. Bengals, they're gonna target every single person on that Bengals team. So the first thing I'd probably say is Chase Brown, anytime touchdown. Jamar Chase, over 80 plus receiving yards. And see if we can go a little spicy and crazy on this one. Bengals team that I want to see out of this one is, I'm trying to see the odds for you all, but I would definitely go with I want to say 3 passing touchdowns. That's what I thought. Joe Burrow, it's set at over under 2.5, and that's plus 168. So aren't the best odds, but that's exactly what I was thinking. 3 passing touchdowns for them. Bucks Falcons, that's another one. Bijan Robinson's probably going to be your anytime touchdown that people are going to focus in on. Look on the Bucs side. They're saying Bucky Irving. It might end up being someone else that's over there that's going to step up. 49ers and Seahawks. So looking at that game, Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown. Just go back to it worked the year that he was straight. So just go back to it until it does you wrong. Other side, JSN, you could end up seeing him. You really could do Cooper Kupp and JSN 50 receiving yards for both. If you did it that way, let's see what that ends up getting you for anyone that is interested. So if you did alternate on it, you can even do let's do 40. Let's not get too crazy out there. So let's do 40 and 40. That gets you plus 145. So if you just did 40 receiving yards for Cooper Kupp, 40 receiving yards for JSN, that honestly might be the one I go with. They're going to have to find someone. It's the first game. So that might be my play. 40 receiving yards for JSN and for Cooper Kupp. Who else are they going to throw it to? I mean, I know they have other pieces, but those two probably are the main ones. They don't even have anyone else listed yet. So probably go with that. The other thing you could end up doing is probably total receptions. JSN's is listed at 4.5. Cooper Kupp's is listed at 3.5. Christian McCaffrey, they already have his hot and ready at 4.5 receptions to start. Next game we have Titans Broncos. I don't want to touch this one yet. I want to just watch it to see how things end up playing out. The game after that we have is the Lions Packers. When it comes to Lions Packers, anytime touchdown for any of them. Probably Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Am I saying that they're all going to hit? No, but some of them absolutely are going to hit. This is going to be a high-scoring game. If you look on the Packers side, same thing. You could really double up, and I said this earlier. Josh Jacobs and Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdowns. They sound like locks. They're solid at scoring touchdowns out the backfield. When you get up close, it's going to be those two. Jahmyr Gibbs has started to take the lead a little bit. So I want to see how this Sonic Knuckles works out for this upcoming year for the Lions. The next thing I do want to look at is the Texans Rams. So looking at this game with the Texans and Rams, Kyren Williams is probably a lock. I don't know what they're going to do on the Texans side of the ball, the backfield. So Nico Collins for 50. You could do Nico Collins 50 and then probably Kyren Williams for 50 rushing. And you should be fine. I'll give you those. So where is this going? I'll give you those odds in 2 seconds. All right, so we're going with the receiving. Nico Collins, that's all I end up choosing for 50. If you did 50, that's minus 390. If you end up pairing that up with, where's Kyren? And then Kyren for 50, that gets you minus 144 odds. Isn't bad either, but my thing is I'd go Nico and Kyren both 50 receiving and rushing. Not both of them. I'm saying like Nico Collins 50 receiving, Kyren Williams 50 rushing. Next one we have is Ravens Bills. Put anytime touchdowns on the quarterbacks because they're going to somehow find a way. The other part is Derrick Henry, anytime touch. They're going to find a way to get him. As many touchdowns he scored last year. I know the regression is going to have to come. I just don't think it's yet. So I'd go anytime touchdown there. If you look at the odds, it's going to be stupid. Final one, Vikings, Bears. I know Steven is very against JJ McCarthy and then what's going to happen when it comes to Justin Jefferson. I get that. So then go to the other side of the ball and go with somebody, one of the receivers over there on the Bears side, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore. I know they brought in Luther Burden. So one of them should have a game. You could probably go with two of them. Say pair it up with 40-40 DJ Moore and then Rome Odunze and then maybe 20 for Colston Loveland. He's going to have to pass the ball around, and that's not asking much over there. So picks that I have for this week, I have the Eagles, Chiefs, Cardinals, Dolphins, Patriots, Steelers, Commanders, Panthers, Bengals, Falcons, 49ers, Broncos, Packers, Rams, Ravens, Bears. So I got for you guys. I appreciate you all for listening as usual. Till next time, we out.